Hello there my Jedi and Sith friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars video. It is I coming at you once again, your friend and your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. Next year marks the 50th anniversary of the franchise, and in light of the huge celebration that we have coming up, as well as the re-release of the theatrical cut of A New Hope, today we have a few very interesting goodies in store. A couple of fascinating updates, but first, we have to talk about an observation that's been blowing fans away this past week. So, the galaxy far, far away is full of really funny coincidences, and a Star Wars fan on Twitter has pointed out something which has gone unnoticed for many years. This wouldn't have been relevant prior to the prequel trilogy, but now that characters like Padme exist, it is something rather comical. In the original Star Wars movie 1977's A New Hope, or just Star Wars for you OGs out there, at the briefing before the Battle of Yavin, sitting in front of Luke is a lieutenant who, if you really pay attention to his facial features, resembles Anakin and Padme far more than Luke does. I've probably seen A New Hope about 200 odd times, some of you guys have probably seen it more than that, and I've never ever noticed him. Our eyes are naturally drawn to the hero of the story, Luke, the farm boy who is taking his first steps into a larger world. But this character is going viral at the moment, and the joke going round is that Senator Amidala didn't just give birth to Luke and Leia, but she must have given birth to this guy. It's obviously just a crazy coincidence. And did you know that he actually has a name? Lieutenant Lepira. And even though his features have gone unnoticed, he's quite an important background character. He was a rebel pilot for Gold Squadron. He flew a BTL A4 Y-Wing and was led by Gold leader John Vandar. Sadly though, Lepira died during the trench run. But here's where things get a bit crazy. After this observation started making the rounds, Star Wars fans wanted to know who played Lepira. But to this day, the actor who portrayed him remains uncredited. But what we do know is that he filmed his scenes at Shepperton Studios in May of 1976. But all the way up until 1998, the character was nameless. In the Legends customizable card game, he was finally identified as Lieutenant Lepira, and in canon, the name was brought back in 2021's The Odyssey of Star Wars: An Epic Poem. And now Star Wars fans are finding out for the first time that he resembles Padme quite a bit. Far more than Luke in my opinion. Of course at this point, George Lucas had no idea what Padme was going to end up looking like, and before the prequel trilogy, this is what the parents of Luke and Leia were supposed to look like. But here's something you might not have known. As some of the newer canon content revisits some of those background characters, the more they're fleshed out, and the more we learn about them as individuals. And now we know that growing up, Lepira learned to become a Starfighter pilot by racing through the Anoat system, which we first see in The Empire Strikes Back. So just a fun fact, what do you think? But moving on my dear friends, but staying on the subject of A New Hope, female Luke Skywalker is back. You might be thinking, what is she talking about? Did she just say, female Luke Skywalker? The memes that were going around in early 2020 are making a return. But this time, instead of photoshopped images, it's an official acknowledgement by LEGO. In light of the 50th anniversary of A New Hope, they've decided in upcoming sets that they're going to release minifigures of the concept art versions of our favourite characters. And in one of the first drafts for A New Hope, Luke was a girl. While working on the second draft of the script for Star Wars in 1975, George Lucas felt that there was a lack of female representation, and so he briefly rewrote the protagonist as an 18-year-old woman. This led to the materialization of concept art drawn by Ralph McQuarrie, but then soon after, George changed his mind. He reverted the hero to a male character, originally named Luke Starkiller. But Lucas still wanted a strong female lead, and that is how Princess Leia was conceptualized, a mishmash of the girl version of Luke with a new, strong rebel female lead. It's a piece of Star Wars history which has largely been forgotten, but I guess the LEGO group decided, you know what would be awesome? If we took the girl version of Luke and made a minifigure based on her. And others note that had Luke been conceived of as female, then he would have played a similar role to George Lucas's Kira, who is the conceptual character who became Rey. But either way, someone who endorses it is the man who played Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill. Just a few years back, he admitted he's fully on board with the notion. He reposted some of the photoshops that had been made, and he takes it in good faith. And in terms of some of the other concept figures, others include the concept version of Vader, 3PO, R2-D2, Luke Starkiller, so the version of Luke before they changed his name to Skywalker, Han Solo, and Chewie. And the Chewbacca one is notable because that bit of concept art became Zebralios in Star Wars Rebels. One final bit of news for the 50th anniversary. We have confirmation that at least 3 LEGO sets for the new Star Wars film Starfighter are going to be released. No further information is known, but I think what's a given in terms of minifigures for those sets are Ryan Gosling's character, Flynn Gray's character, probably Amy Adams, and the 2 villains, Mia Goth and Matt Smith. And we also know that Aaron Pierre is playing a Jedi, so maybe also him. And speaking of upcoming announcements, my friends, San Diego Comic-Con is just a few days away. A Star Wars book with a fascinatingly mysterious title has been spotted. They're about to unveil a novel which is going to release on April 6th, titled Star Wars Twin Crossroads. And in the galaxy far, far away, whenever you're talking about twins, the first 2 that should come to mind are Luke and Leia, the Skywalker twins. We might be getting a dedicated book about them. There's also the possibility of an Acolyte spin-off about Osha and May. Alternatively, my friends, and this is my personal prediction, it might be a prequel tie-in to Star Wars Starfighter, because in the upcoming film, Ryan Gosling's character and Amy Adams' character are also siblings. But were they twins? Based on the release date, considering this is just a month out before the film, it's coming out around the time of Star Wars Celebration when we would have had our final trailer for the movie, I could definitely see this being connected. Star Wars Twin Crossroads. Who are they talking about? What do you guys think? At the moment, things are very, very quiet, and it's easy to forget that the franchise has some big offerings in 2027, and I know we're talking about Starfighter quite a lot, but as I've said before, I wouldn't underestimate the re-release of A New Hope, the theatrical cut, in IMAX, starting February 19th. And as we await more information, I'm hoping some of the deleted scenes are going to be brought back. I know deleted scenes are a bit of a contentious issue in the Star Wars fandom. A lot of people like to say some of them were left out for a reason, whereas others believe that they really complete the movie and should have been left in. As for the original Star Wars movie, I would say the deleted scenes are a bit of a mixed bag. There are some which don't serve any meaningful purpose. For instance, the scenes at the Mos Eisley Cantina with Han Solo's original girlfriend. No, not Kira, Jenny. I'm not kidding, her name is literally Jenny. She was a human from Tatooine, and in recent years she's been brought back into canon. She's actually now acknowledged as one of Han Solo's early flings. It's a fun bit of backstory, a fun bit of trivia, but I don't think it serves the movie's plot. I understand it was to show us that Han Solo was a bit of a ladies' man, but I much prefer his introduction in the final version. But then there are scenes like those with Luke's friends, which I'm baffled they left out. It provides a lot of backstory for Luke's early aspirations, some of his hopes and dreams, and it fleshes out his social life back home. With hindsight, it adds so much to the weight of the original trilogy. But a lot of fun stuff today, my friends. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments down below.